So today we're going to be talking about interior design mistakes that you may be doing in your home. And if you do these things and you're like wanting to fix them, I'm going to give you some solutions. Now I just want to say this is not me attacking anybody personally, okay? Everyone's free to do whatever they want in their homes. That is the whole joy of having your own place that you can decorate. Literally 0 rules. Let's talk about it. The first one is going to be simply that there's just too much stuff. Way too much stuff. Like a ton. Maximalism at its best or the worst. To the point that you have to buy shelves to fit all of your stuff because you don't know where to put it and there's no more room. Yeah, that's kind of when you know you've reached a point of no return, I think. Yeah, sometimes simply you just have way too many things, and if you downsized just a little bit and got rid of the 15 things on that one shelf and narrowed it down to 3, it's gonna look 1,000 times better, and it's gonna make you feel better going into your home too. It's just a lot more curated, just a more curated selection. I've only been in an extreme maximalist home last year for the first time. Yeah, it was someone's apartment actually, and it was very Pinterest worthy. Like, this is the type of maximalist interior design Pinterest photo you would see. It was a lot. It was a lot. It was very overstimulating, but it was organized. It was organized, but there wasn't just stuff covering every single wall, no. There was stuff everywhere on the ground as well. Like 30 throw pillows on the couch. It was a bit much. There could be one room that could be like this maybe, but not your entire place. And some people really thrive in those types of settings. Me, I can't. That's just me, that's how I function. Everyone's different though. Sometimes if your space feels off, you might just have too much stuff. All right, this one specifically hits home to me because my sister has it and my parents had it growing up, and to this day I've never understood why. I really don't understand why, and it might be you, so treading on thin waters. It's a super high bed frame that you have to like jump to get into. Like, you can't lean, you can't walk into the room and stand next to it and like sit down. You have to actually jump to get up to it. It's about like waist height. I understand that these bed frames have a bunch of storage underneath, and they're normally like these really nice wooden ones with built-in pull-out drawers, but they're so incredibly high that you have to jump into them. I don't understand it. I remember my parents, I had to stand on the side of the wooden frame in order to get like onto the bed every time. Or you'd have to like run and jump. Every time I walked in the room, it felt like the whole room was a bed. What this is, it doesn't seem very functional to me. I think you should have a bed that you can easily get into, that you can stand next to it and you can sit down. I mean, some people are shorter than others, you know, maybe a normal bed height is still too tall for you, but one that goes to my waist, I'm tall. That's too high. It makes the bed the centerpiece of the entire room. It's a huge eyesore because it's so tall. And then you have to remember, not only is it tall, but the headboard is also gonna be tall. So then it's like halfway up the wall. So you have this giant bed and then everything around it looks mini-sized. I don't get it. Stray away from it, guys. Maybe it is the box spring combined with the mattress. So if you are going to get a bed, maybe get the smaller box spring. I know they do have smaller box springs, and that makes your bed a little bit lower and more easily accessible to get into, which is really nice. We don't want to fall off the bed in the middle of the night and break our arm because we fell 2 stories. You know, that would be bad. The next one is going to be a TV. Okay, if you guys watched my past videos, you will know that I never had a TV until recently. I always had a projector. I just did not want to deal with a TV while traveling, first of all, because I moved so much, and also it's just ugly, quite literally. It's just not cute to have on display all the time. It's just not. But the reality is people use TVs often, and normally living rooms and furniture placement is actually centered around a TV instead of centered around talking to people. So if that's the case, and you know, the TV is your main attraction and your source of entertainment, like it is for most people, there are many solutions to hiding this and disguising it in a really good way where it's not an eyesore and it doesn't take away from your decor. For my TV, personally, I got a tapestry and covered it. That was the best solution I could come up with. The frame TV, it's obviously incredible. It's so cool. Out of my budget. I'm sorry. If someone wants to buy me a frame TV one day, I'll accept it. But right now, the tapestry is what we got. And honestly, it works really well. I think it was really good DIY. It was only cost me about 50 bucks to do this. And it just makes the living room look 1,000 times better not having to see a big black box on my wall. No one wants to see it. It's just why? Why? But if the tapestry thing is like not for you, you can always get an arm wire that holds your TV, a piece of artwork framed that goes in front of it. I've seen so many DIYs. I will put some on the screen for you right here. And with the TV, I would also say when a TV is installed way too high, like in the corner of a room, up in the, like touching the ceiling, what are we doing? What is this? What is this? Who does this? What's the purpose? What's the reasoning, guys? What's the reasoning? It should be at eye level, guys. It should be at eye level. The next one is going to be buying a open shelving shoe rack for the front door that shows all your shoes. The thing is, this is the reason why I don't like it, is because to me, open storage is no storage. If I can see it, it still exists. Also, the majority of shoes that you're gonna put out on display, they're just gonna be like, you know, it's not gonna be aesthetic by any means, but they do have shelving units for your front door that hold your shoes that are closed storage. So if you have the option to get closed, I would always say get the closed storage. It's just way more clean looking, and obviously some people might think that that extra step to open the door or whatever to put your shoes away might hinder them from actually putting their shoes away. I totally get that too. If you have a little mud room where your shoes can be on display, it doesn't matter, no one's really seeing that area, then by all means, throw them. But for me, having an apartment, it was very important for me to hide them because it's only so big, you know, and my front door is my living room. Couch is 5 feet away. So it's not really ideal to have my shoes anywhere on display because it would just take away from everything else and it's very distracting and it looks cluttered. So I think the open storage shoe racks are just a no-go in my book. Next is your rug size. Or take it a step further, lack of a rug. A living room, especially sometimes when you have the furniture just all laid out and it's in the correct area, it feels separate because you do not have a rug there. And getting a rug really can just change the space, make it feel more cozy and make it feel all cohesive. And if you don't want to spend the money on a extremely large rug, I totally get that. Just get a smaller rug, but make sure that the rug extends 12 to 18 inches on either side of your couch and the front legs of your couch are able to go on it along with any other furniture that you have. So if you have any accent chairs, make sure that the front legs of those chairs are also going on the rug too. So it still needs to be a pretty decent size, but you could definitely get a less expensive rug by not fully getting a large rug to extend all the way underneath your couch. You know what I mean? Also, rugs really do a great job at making certain areas of a room feel like their own thing. I purposefully put this next one a little lower on the list just because you've heard me say it so many times, but look, I have had people comment on here that I have helped them and they changed their ways after me saying this so many times. So if I just help one person, that's what I'm doing this for, and that is window treatments. I cannot stress to you enough how much of a difference curtains have made. Take it from me, every time I was moving, I just kept up the blinds. So I just put curtains right at the top of the window. Yeah, it looked awful because when I finally decided to take down my blinds in my current place and actually install floor to ceiling curtains, it elevated the room so much. It reminded me of a Las Vegas hotel. Those curtains made such a big difference and my little 8-foot ceilings looked 10 feet. It gave 2 extra feet just by doing floor to ceiling curtains. I just did not understand how much of a difference it would make visually until I actually did it. And now it's something I cannot unsee. When I go into people's homes and I see they're way lower, I'm like, do you know what you're doing? Another thing with the curtains though is you don't just put them around the windows, because here's the thing, if you do that, first of all, it makes your windows look much smaller and it blocks out half of the light during the daytime because the curtains can only go so far around the window that way. So you want to make sure that you put the curtain rod 4 to 6 inches past the actual window. So that way the curtains can sit there in that gap and not obstruct the light coming through during the daytime. That's really important, and it also makes the room look way bigger. And always go floor to ceiling. Make sure your curtains are the right length. Don't make them short. I do think that there could be some exceptions though, because in my bathroom I have shorter curtains, but I wanted curtains because there's nothing to obstruct me showering from the street. But I did not want the curtains touching the ground in my bathroom next to my toilet. I just felt like that was really unsanitary. So I think there are some circumstances where it's fine to have like shorter curtains, but like in a bedroom, a living room, for instance, long curtains that either kiss the floor, drape on the floor, beautiful. Do it. Every time, do it. Once you change out your curtains, if you haven't done that yet, you're gonna see such a major difference. It's like, it's gonna be the one thing you have to do every time you move now. All right, the next one is gonna be just all matching furniture. Matching furniture is easier to get, especially if you go to like a Ashley's Furniture, something like that, and you see something on the floor and you see this whole setup that they create with all these matching pieces, like the matching side tables in the bedroom and the armoire and the bed set. But obviously mixing up your furniture makes it look more unique. It makes it look more like a designer did it. Yeah, so just really trying to stray away from matchy furniture I think is really helpful. You can even have different tones of wood, different colored items, different height variations, different styles of furniture even. And I did do a whole video talking about ways to make your home feel more stylish. And I went a little deeper into this specific topic actually. So if you want to check that out, it'll be here. So if you kind of have that matchy thing going on currently, maybe consider getting rid of some of it and getting some other things that are different, maybe. With the matching furniture, I think having everything else match too, meaning not just your furniture, but your throw pillows matching your couch, your throw blanket matching your couch, everything else matching each other, all the other stuff. I've definitely seen some rooms that were very cohesive in color palette and it looked epic. You could tell it was intentional though. And even then there was still pops of color. Yeah, just try not to be too matchy, I guess. I guess that's all I can really say. Okay, this is a little weird. And I don't know if people actually do this often, but I have been seeing it a lot recently since I've been apartment hunting. And bear in mind, places here in LA, they're old. So that could be why. But I have been seeing apartments that have tile in the bedrooms. And then there will be a whole living room and the entire apartment is wooden floors, really nice. And then all of a sudden the kitchen is this really big tile. It's probably like the cheapest one you can get all over the floor. And I'm like, why didn't you just continue the wooden floor into the kitchen? That would have been nice, you know? So yeah, that I'm not a fan of. Now I do believe there are some exceptions to this rule if you were using a tile that is a statement piece, but using that generic gray and brown tile, when there's so many other options that would really bring the space to life, just do wood, just keep it wood, just keep it all wood. Next is going to be a simple one, and I put this towards the end because I feel like most of you know this, right? It's gonna be poor lighting. Any overhead lighting, get rid of it. It's gone, okay? That means we're gonna do lots of lamps, lots of wall sconces. That's right. Lots of standing lamps, table lamps. Overhead lighting is so sterile. It feels like you're in a hospital, and it's just overall bad. It's bad, and it's very easy to change up the way that your entire place feels and make it feel different by not using overhead lighting and starting to implement lamps into your space at night. It's gonna feel so much more cozy when you do this. It is. But with that, of course, you gotta make sure you choose the right bulbs with the correct light temperature, okay? We don't want that cool, stark, bright light. We want that warm, cozy lighting, okay? And something else I would say that I have invested in recently is I got a hue light bulb, and it has effects on it, and you can do candlelight setting and it like flicker. Guys, life-changing. Okay, I'll link it below if you want to check it out, but It is so freaking cool. Every single night I do warm lighting, like super warm lighting. Then I do candle light, then I do red light, and it's all on a timer. Next is gonna be scale and proportion of specific things in your home, and this is a common mistake that can just be pretty much in every single room. I guarantee I can go into a room right now. Actually, I can think of something very specific right now that definitely is not the correct scale. Everyone's guilty of this. It's definitely something you kind of have to learn and start to train yourself to see more easily. And with that though, it can, if you're doing it wrong and things are not to the correct size they should be, or if everything in your living room is at one height, you know, and there's no height differentiation, you're really gonna notice then, now that I've mentioned this to you, you're gonna be like, oh, everything is one height. Feels weird. If you just added something tall, something a little shorter, mixed it up a little bit, it would look way more cohesive and intentional. So if you go into a room and you're like, something feels off, maybe your couch is way too big for your space. Yeah, scale can be incorporated to literally everything in your home. It can be incorporated to the bed size. It can be incorporated to every single piece of your furniture, your curtains, everything. So it's definitely a handy one to start to learn. That is it. Let me know your thoughts and let me know what things you find in other people's homes that you think are big interior design no-no. If you made it to the end of the video, drop a heart for me. I love to see who actually made it this far. I hope you have an amazing rest of your day, night, whenever you're watching this. I appreciate you so much for being here as always, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.